Merhabalar, merhabalar sevgili dostlarım. Nasılsınız? Keyfiniz yerinde mi? Hello, hello everyone. All of our friends. I hope you are doing wonderful. Today we will have a great webinar. We have wonderful guests today. Again, it's our pleasure and honor to have them. Bugün harika konuklarımız var ve büyük bir onur ve zevk bizim için onları tekrar burada ağırlayabilmek. Hemen bir kaydımı başlatayım bir saniye. Just to start the recording by the way. Kayıtlarımızı başlatabiliriz. We can start the recordings. In a minute I will set the translation. Birazdan çeviriyi ayarlıyor olacağım. Ekranın altında bir dünya ikonu göreceksiniz. You will be seeing a world icon at the bottom of your screen, and then you can choose your language from there. We have in the main sound English and then Turkish and Portuguese. Thank you to Lisandra for being with us today. Ana ses biliyorsunuz İngilizce. Hiçbir şey seçmeden İngilizce dinleyebilirsiniz. Ve aynı zamanda Türkçeyi seçebilirsiniz ve Portekizceyi seçebilirsiniz. Ve Lisandra'ya Portekizce çevirisi için teşekkür ederiz. Bugün Joshua Raena bizimle ve algoritma business yani senin algoritman tekniğinin business, iş, kariyer modüllerini anlatıyor olacaklar. Eğitmenlik modüllerini anlatıyor olacaklar. Joshua and Reina with us today. In a minute, Lissandra will also, after the translation setting, she will be quickly recap this part. Not, I will be talking not very long. So welcome, welcome everyone. Hoş geldiniz, hoş geldiniz. Çok güzel bir webinar olacak. Çok eğleniyor olacağız. We will be having a lot of fun. At least I always have fun with them. So please enjoy. Welcome. Let's start.
Hello, everyone. So happy to see all of you. Thank you. That was such a wonderful introduction. I always love your energy. It's so vibrant and fun and exciting. Aw, so great. I just love it. It's exciting.
It is. It's a good way to start in the early morning. It made us forget that it's early morning here.
It is very early morning here, but we are in Hawaii, so that kind of makes it fun and exciting because it makes it just a little few different hours than actually in Montana. So I've always got to enjoy that beautiful, lovely weather of Hawaii.
I always like being able to come to webinars because we get to see what's happening later in the day around the world.
It's true. It looks to me like most people are, hitting their days, coming down to a nice end, and they're really enjoying the moments that they've enjoyed together with whatever they've done. So, of course, I want to make sure that we start off by saying thank you to all the people that are here. It's always nice to see you. So, now we're going to do business.
Oh, yeah. So, all right. We were trying to explain basically why we use theta healing all the time. That was somebody came up to us and said theta healing, and they said it's kind of interesting, and I don't know if I use it. And I said, you're already using it forever. Everybody does, and we kind of grow these abilities, and it's just about your own mastery. So we started talking, and we started figuring things out, and we learned so many things about our explanation. We learned about how much information we process in the body and how we use it and the patterns that we're going through. And then we learned so much about understanding ourselves and other people and what we're moving into different directions. The algorithm of businesses lets you understand how to interact in any business, whether you're working on yourself, whether you're working somewhere else, and to see how you're being interpreted.
One of the biggest things that you learn about business is truly about you. Everything is just sauce, as I like to put it, because really we are like the meat and potatoes. It's about what we bring to the table, how we are, what it is that people perceive it is. And some people can see it as one way, and some people can see it as another. And if you've taken the Discover Your Algorithm class, you understand that everybody has their own interpretation, their own perception, perception is a good word, of what you are like, because we have our own perception of what they're like and determine on how they have gone through their whole life and their experiences and the emotions with which they've actually started their life and did things as a young person or child really defines the things that they're going through until they recognize those things and they go, I'm not sure why I like this, or how come I see this, or why I feel this emotion.
So I'm going to tell you guys a phrase that you're going to learn about a lot over the next little while. It's called soft suppression. And
Oh.
when we communicate in our world and in our lives, we use different ways to communicate. People around us can not listen or hear certain things because they're programmed to not listen or pick up a certain word. So what soft suppression is on any social media, on any post that you make to promote yourself, any platform, they have words that trigger and make it so that they can only put you in a cycle of just people who are like you. So if you're trying to advertise a class and you can't figure out why you're not getting something or you're not connecting to people, it's because they have programmed it that the words that you're communicating yourself with are looping you back into only the people who are already around. And we do this in our life. We do this in regular business places. We loop ourselves back into only the people who can understand exactly how we communicate ourselves to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why it's so important in business, why it's so important in the personal level, is because if we don't understand how they can be seen,
How we can be seen, then how are we supposed to see how to communicate what they're saying, what they're communicating? Because we're all just trying to communicate with each other, really, aren't we?
so if you're building a team, if you're connecting to success, no matter what you're doing, the first step that requires is a look about how you're communicating in that situation versus how you want to communicate and lead in a situation, which is why we first talk about leadership and why it's so important because we're always leading. People are always listening and watching and willing to be a part of our lives, but we don't always open the door to include it.
And sometimes we don't even recognize that we may just be pushing people away because our subconscious understanding is to do just that. We don't recognize that some of those things that we have learned as younger, maybe the emotions, maybe some of the way that we problem solve, maybe pushing people to this side or that side, or they may drawing only people that understand just you and not other people that you're trying to attract into your business.
So if you use one particular word that you love to use and it makes sense to your friends and you use it differently, we had this yesterday.
We
I had
did.
used I had used a word about presence with Raena in a conversation the day prior, and then I used the same word yesterday in a different context. And I expected the reaction to be understood by the current context. But of course, Raina remembered the previous interaction's context first. So there was immediately a miscommunication. And in our lives and in all the connections we're making to build and grow, we have these opportunities, we manifest these things, they're all right there. But we don't really cross that communication barrier to connect to it.
We may not even recognize the just one word that we're using in one situation, but then changing it to another situation, maybe holding us back from actually communicating all the things that we really are trying to manifest. People may be trying to help us, but we may not be able to hear it because we may have blocks that are going on within us that we don't even recognize that we have, even in business.
That's the lens of our experience is what we communicate through. And so a lot of time we're talking to ourselves and we're wanting people to hear the version of ourselves, not really understanding the audience that we're connecting to and how we're driving a situation, how it differs from the one from yesterday. Because even if it's the same people, like right now, we're in a webinar group and some of you have been around us before. And that doesn't mean that it's the same type of interaction. There's been changes. You've all had changes, right? You've grown, you've shifted, you've moved, your motivations are growing. If we want to connect and have a successful moment, our priority is how and where we are so securely that we can leap outside of ourselves to how and where you guys are. Okay, that's the whole goal of these different things that we do for belief work is knowing, all right, How do I connect in this moment and maximize this moment with the people around us? So we're doing the same thing. And with business, the goal is, all right, what are we working with? And the way that our body works, the way that our system works is we get a signal that tells us what we're going to program and do something with. And that signal comes from a chemical reaction inside of our body that's telling us what pressure we're feeling.
So when we have pressure, we automatically have a cue or that chemical reaction that Josh said, which is an emotion. We all have emotions. And those emotions come up really quickly and tell us exactly how we're going to react in the situation because we have been programming ourselves for so long to do just that. If an emotion comes up with anger and you've been wanting to get attention and that's the way that you've used it all your life, then that's what you do.
So we go into these different situations, and we've been in business, we've been in coaching, we've done all these different things in athletics, and everybody comes up and says emotions are bad. You got to suppress them. You got to get rid of them. And we point out that they're wrong. Emotions are signals, and you're not supposed to suppress anything. So if you're in the workplace and you're suppressing something, you're not able to communicate with coworkers, they feel it. You can't hide it. Okay, our cells are constantly talking. They say things all the time. Your cells are constantly talking. Even if your cameras are off, you're saying something right now. If something's being communicated that can be interpreted in all the information of everything that's going on. So they're communicating, and these are little signals about what is actually being communicated and what you're connecting and solving and viewing as the situations of your life. And we get 450 of these a day at least.
450 emotions every single day. Whether we recognize them or we've been suppressing them for so long, that's a whole different story.
So we're being given the cues into how we're moving the situation. What's the energy we're creating? Even what we're exchanging to have come back to us. And so when we started to dive into it, we got a phone call from the bank, right?
Yeah, we did.
And the bank asked us to do one thing: show everybody. The light is gone.
Keep going. Show everybody.
Show everybody there how every action they're doing is impacting. He had been struggling. The president and the founder, our little friend of that bank, had been struggling to get his people to understand that every action they do matters. Every time they talk to a customer, every time that they work with something. So he called us in to help them connect and understand how impactful they really are and to make a choice, right? We always have those choices. But if you're growing your business and you want to be impactful for connecting to other people, then when you attract those people, how are you communicating? What are you going to help them grow? If you're a healer, how do you set the line between being a healer and having an employee?
How do you be a healer and still be able to connect with people that are in mainstream? Sometimes it's always but sometimes it's challenging to connect with people, even in a bank situation where you try to be a healer and still be able to connect and talk bank. Sometimes it's not always easy to say, I trust the seventh plane to run my business. Well, you can't really say that to a banker. So you have to understand what types of words to say in order to have that communication, those types of things, knowing what it is that you bring and the type of energy you have and the person across from you and the perception that they need for what it is that they and their perspective is what we're talking about. We talk about algorithm of view business. So you can understand what it is that you are portraying and how the person across from you that you're speaking to also is being and picking up on you.
Well, our goal is, as we start to teach and certify people to teach, that they can go into businesses and start to integrate the program. And along the way, we've discovered all kinds of useful tools, and we're developing those tools even further now about this interaction with this mirror that we're sort of creating for people to see themselves, connect with themselves, and make changes in their life. Same things that we do from the very beginning, where we say, you have these abilities, let's unlock them. Well, we're kind of programming the same thing. And what we found out is we're not all that attuned to ourselves emotionally and problem solving wise. Most of the time, we're running on autopilot. Mm-hmm. And in business and in life, when we run on autopilot, we tend to take our frustrations and not see what we can change and we can grow. So we mentioned earlier soft suppression. Right? Most of you, if you've been in Theta Healing and you're making posts, you are running into a business wall, I guarantee. You're running into suppression from a small word. Alignment, shift, healing, all those words, they put you in a small circle immediately.
And they make sure that that small circle stays in that small circle. So it's only sending out to your friends, people that only are into healing, only those people that you already have in your circle, really, because they want to keep you there. They don't want you going out to the other people that are interested or could be interested in your business and you.
Why has to do with making sure that they bottleneck certain interactions and that they do all kinds of stuff and that you pay them more money to try to get out of it. And there's a whole motivational thing from money behind it. But you don't have to stay there. Okay, leadership is moving through soft suppression too, and beyond business. You don't have to stay in a place where you're feeling suppressed in that same situation, not turning it over, not having a huge explosion, but just in the same situation, you can shift and see and hold your vibration by crossing over into understanding the communications of them or the communications they're looking for. So you change the same word to something different. You change the same word to unlocking. You change the same word to decoding. You change the same word to bringing presence, to making changes. This is how we connect to different people all the time. There's not a person in the world that we can't tell how theta healing works. There's not a person in the world we can't tell how algorithm review works. We can shift our perspective to each one of them. The difficult thing right now is 96 perspectives, all of you needing to hear something different, something for your own life, something that connects to you to help you unlock it.
The best part about these classes is that we get to do exercises. And I love exercises because they really help me to understand myself best. That's why I love Discover Your Algorithm, where we have the visualization, we close our eyes and we really go inside and we recognize, hey, this is what's happening inside me. These are the emotions I'm feeling, because it kind of just takes you within to go, yeah, if I was in the scenario, that's what I would do. This is the emotions I would feel, and this is how I would problem solve. And it helps me to really see within myself whether or not I need to change something or if I love the way I'm doing it. So we're just going to give you a little snippet, of course, of what it is that we will be doing. This is not an actual exercise that we have in it, but it is one that's like it. So I'm going to ask you all to close your eyes and take a deep breath in. And I'm going to have you imagine that you are basically doing a project where you are trying to raise funds for your business. But something starts to go wrong. And you can put in whatever it is that you think is going to go wrong. How do you solve that problem? I'm going to give you a few scenarios, like, do you decide that you're going to take control and fix it yourself? Or do you blame the person who might have messed up? Do you say nothing and you just feel really annoyed? Do you try to keep everything calm, or do you quit the project completely? Some of these, I hope you recognize the things and give you clues of the emotional algorithm that you really are automatically moving through every single day. And just recognizing how you actually decipher and choose which way you're going to move through a very pressure moment filled with something that might go wrong gives you just a little bit of a clue. Now we're going to ask the emotion that you felt with it. Did it make you nervous? Were you scared if something went wrong, it was going to be all your fault? Where is it? What was your emotions? Of course, you can always put it in an emoji if you like to, like fire, like anger, or like the ice person. I don't know. You could choose whatever you want. Like the clock could be like, I'm running out of time, whatever emojis you can put in there. Yeah, to me, that's like sweating. I'm sweating it out. Absolutely, because these are the things that you start to feel as it comes up. What do you want to say? I see you taking a deep breath.
Wait.
Yeah.
So the emotion is telling you the lens that you're viewing things through, right? So your body's feeling the pressure. It's creating the situation. That is the lens. And that lens drives reaction to the situation. But the funny thing is, and we know this, everybody's situation is a little bit different from all these different emotions, right? So in our world, we're spending a lot of time, and it's great. We're figuring out who we are, what our lens is, and how it's important. But to be a leader, to be connected in business, to take the next step, how do you navigate that now, not just for yourself, but connecting to the world around you, to connecting to the people who are also going through? Can you see what they see? So then you're not just saying, all right, let me solve this pressure for me.
No,
you're taking
your team.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, team, because it's not just you doing the project. There's more people that are involved. What about all the people that are going to come to that project, or the people that are going to be there with you setting things up? They're also devastated. So now what do you do in that emotion? Like, okay, how do I help myself go forward? And how do I choose which way is best?
Now, if you feel like you're going to give up and be sad, then you know that there's an overwhelming feeling. And, from all the things that we learn and do, that overwhelming feeling came from someone, maybe generations past, maybe now. But we know that it's starting to kind of take over a moment. And what happens, the more we develop certain patterns, the more we develop certain emotions, we get more used to the muscle memory of them, and the faster we solve it. So the greatest thing about the human body is that we're the most amazing, creative, powerful supercomputer that's ever existed.
Which is totally amazing. Now, whether you know which way that you're creating or not is what this class and all of our classes are designed to help you recognize, so that you can take back that control you deserve the whole time, so you knew what's going on in your subconscious autopilot.
So as you kind of go through that situation, your cells talk about it. And then our cells want to make sure they're right. Okay. No computer ever does anything wrong. Ever. No computer. If you type something wrong, like we have this discussion too. You've had this discussion. My computer's not working. Okay, then we know that the computer's not doing something wrong. There's a problem somewhere, but it's not with the computer as the whole, right? The problem could be with the software or the power source, but the computer itself, no.
It's fine.
It's doing everything it's supposed to do, everything it's being told to do. Exactly. We just have to figure out what it's being told.
Right. That's exactly what the algorithm of you is. What is it being told every single time? What are you telling yourself that you may not even recognize it and reacting to? And that's the difference. When we recognize what we're reacting to, we can learn how to respond. We can pause, think about if that's the way that we want to do it, and then respond to it in a different manner than we actually were doing automatically.
Because here's the thing, not only do we have this great ability to process and solve it, and we're solving our problem and we're validating our problem, and we know we're important because we are important. We're the most important us that we can possibly be. We also have Wi-Fi. We have Wi-Fi. It's built in. It goes off, sends out signals, and brings in messages. And just like your Wi-Fi is filtered right now to the picture of us in this meeting, and maybe something else, you might be on the background, have a block game or a Word document or whatever. It's focused because you told it to focus, right? You told it to put that information from those wireless signals there. Inside of our cells, the focus of the wireless information is being run by our subconscious.
Did you ever wonder why you go to certain places and you think, oh, this is so boring, I can't handle it. But your friend next to you is so excited and so passionate about it.
What happens? Does one of you kind of go, all right, well, I'm going to join them? Or what more than likely happens is you battle for whose perspective is going to take the moment. You battle for which energy is actually going to be the truth of the moment. And if you're one of those people who had the feeling to maybe quit in that little scenario, you probably have it in yourselves that you're just supposed to follow along with your friends.
Or if you happen to be raised where you had to prove everything in order to get whatever it is that you desired in life, then you're constantly proving and proving and proving to your friend that, hey, I'm right. You should join me. Join me.
But here's when we get in those situations, and even one thing, that thing grows. That thing becomes the focus. That thing becomes the lens that's not in alignment. So if we can't communicate ourselves, and we know about resentments, we know about regret, we know about anger, we know about frustration, we start building a muscle memory with that emotion, with that energy.
And then everything that we do is tailored to helping you get those resentments, those rejections, those frustrations, rather than what you actually want to manifest.
So if we walk into a room, any business, any room right now, and they told us what their problem is, we're going to break it down to what's going on and what's being communicated. Don't have to know anything about the business, not a word. We only have to know what they're communicating and how they're trying to accomplish their goals. And then we sit and watch. Or when we went to the bank, we had them all sitting next to each other and we're talking to them and we are watching their interaction. We are watching them push each other away, pull each other together, set up walls.
Now, of course, we can see this visually, but you can also feel their wireless communication doing just that. Their body language shows you things. Everything about them says either they're into something or they're not, or they like the person that they're working next to, or they absolutely could not stand that person at all. It was very obvious, but it may not have been to them.
Your cells, this is what's so cool about us and being wireless communicators, and we open up intuition. Our cells never lie, ever. They're magical, amazing things. But what we learn is we learn how to make it maybe appear differently using words and other things. And this starts to create all kinds of chaos. So the algorithm of business is in 7 modules for a reason. Each module is designed to teach people and certify them to go into businesses and start to integrate different parts of algorithm review. In fact, there's a whole wonderful support structure that is being developed. We have had the score, we've had the connection, we have a real-time system that lets people reflect and understand themselves and see how aligned they are with themselves.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to launch that next month
with
the book launch. It's finished. It's kind of soft launch now at Algorithm Review. But within that system, we can connect to people, we can see to people. And so we were sitting and we're talking about conversations. Now, if I know and you know what emotion you connect to easily, then we can have any conversation and I can come into your book and you can come into me.
That makes it so much easier so that you can kind of eliminate some of the things that we're always trying to move through and time frames, because time is really of essence when you're trying to understand business or trying to get things taken care of that you need to, because we all have the same amount of time in the day. And it would be nice to be able to just move through and be really transparent and authentic with each other, understanding that you work with joy. How great would that be to know that he works with joy?
Yesterday we had all kinds of conversations. And the reason I bring this up is in a given day, we talk to bankers, attorneys, grocery store workers,
website designers,
patent attorneys,
lots of people,
patent examiners. I mean, there's so much information and perspectives that you talk to. We talk to customer service. And
we're talking to you right now.
Each time that you go into those kind of conversations, One of the reasons why, as a whole, we're so successful is the opportunity to intuitively connect, use the abilities that we have, and say, all right, this is how I connect to this person. And it's not scanning the room and seeing 5 different pictures and bringing up their kids. That builds a soft connection. Okay. But it's eliminating soft suppression. It's knowing that there is no line between the truth of you and the truth of them unless you create it using words that you both don't understand. So we always kind of create a line. We create it with our energy. We create it in different moments. And what you guys probably have heard this. One of our favorite things to do and hear and love hearing still in this world is, wow, you're nothing like I expected. You're nothing like I expected. We hear it all the time from people we just met, from maybe even from some of you at some point that first joined us. And after you heard us talk, you probably walked out and said, wow, they're nothing like I expected. We love that because we understand it. And we understand it from all these different things that we're teaching in business that we learn, because we know how to feel the pressure of everybody's lens and then not listen.
No, we just kind of push it aside and say, let's be authentic to ourselves. Sure, we can feel all your wireless communications talking and the things that are going on, but really, is it going to pull me out of who I am? No. Why? Because I know myself. That's okay. I'll just push that aside and keep going. And that's what it's designed to do. So that you understand, hey, I need to work with this emotion today, or I need to problem solve it this way today, even if that's not maybe your way that you normally do it. And it makes it perfect.
And yeah, so as we kind of give those tools out and we start to connect to the world, what we want is to let you be seen, let you be felt, let you connect and maximize the moments of your life. We want to grow everybody into the type of person and leaders and connected individuals and success that they can have, because we know that the biggest secret to it is unlocking authenticity in every moment. Right?
You're the secret.
Not destructive authenticity. Like, I'm going to be authentic. We're going to fight and I'm going to prove it. That's destructive. Okay. That's not productive. There may be a moment, a time or a place where you do that and then you move forward, but it's not a permanent vibration, right? So in all these situations, in all these moments and places, we have these great exercises that Raena started walking through, and they go into further detail. Each of these modules, we just taught the first one to Dad and Mom and Matthias a couple of weeks ago.
That was cool. They really enjoyed it.
Mom gets so stuck on the exercise.
She loves the exercise.
She's like, oh, I want another exercise. Give me another exercise. Give me another. And so we end up adding more scenarios, like this scenario right here that you just kind of went through yourselves. She's like, now give me another one. Now give me another one. And she keeps asking for another one because all these different scenarios and vibrations, they let her see who she is versus who she wants to be in those situations.
And it gives you they're also tailored to different moments that you probably have gone through already in your life. And that's the best part, is then it really helps you see, oh, I might be this way. I may not like it, or I love it.
Our first module, each emerges the day. The first half of the morning is kind of like a practitioner part, and the second half is an instructor part. Our goal is to let you guys go teach this and integrate it into your businesses and other businesses, and to give you lots of support. So we did 7 modules so that you can integrate it into a business however you see fit, whether that's half hour at a time or whether that's over a week-long period. And we built them out so that you have a level of support in doing so. And in fact, the whole system is designed to make it so that as instructors, you're going to be connected and able to connect to and share information from people who come to see you, from all the way down to belief work. So if you become an algorithm view instructor at any level down the road, because it takes time to build these things in computers, they can't just do it when we snap our fingers. We're trying, but they don't listen. Things like their algorithm score, their attunement, and what emotions that they come to and how they solve problems are things that are going to come in and be available for people to share with you, to know how to build teams. Because if you put a person who's very joyful and a person who is very angry on the same team, you're going to have some problems.
That might be a little challenging. Now, my emotion happens to be, number one is pleasure. It's my pleasure to spend all this time with you. I truly enjoy it.
So it makes it so that it's easy for us to kind of connect in certain moments because there's a lot of joy and a lot of pleasure connections, but it also has certain problems, right? So we come down to a moment of seeing what just happened or what has transpired. Raina's cells might be frustrated that she didn't feel the type of pleasure or connection that she wanted. And my cells are saying, but can't you see the joy in it? Can't you see the place that there's actually joy? Like you learned something. And it does. It sometimes create a communication disconnect, right? So we both have to let go and see each other's perspective. And we're with each other all the time. We commit to each other that way. How do we do it in business? How do we do it in life? And those modules, we walk through them. First one's leadership, then we talk about team building. Those are the first two that we're doing in a week
On
online.
the 19th and 20th.
And they both let you unlock those tools. The first one, stepping into being a leader, seeing how you're making some choices. There's even an exercise about kind of how we feel about our energy exchange and what we're exchanging and how we're creating it to the world around us and what we're doing with it. So the goal, what we're stepping into is to have support and growth and understanding how important it is what we do and how we do it, and stopping this line that was created from what people consider mainstream and what we do, because everybody needs what we do. Everybody needs what we all do to connect and help people grow. They need to step out and be themselves. And if we create a world where people can know and understand and see each other, then we start to change things. If you could go in and sit down to your doctor and you're not afraid of saying what's really going on, your doctor is going to be more accurate. If you can go into the school and say to your teacher, this is how I learn, not like everybody else, or a parent can say, this information is what I know about myself. They might have some of these things, pay attention. We start making the type of change that we talk about all the time. We start changing the approaches to communications and we start connecting individually.
And really, that's how all of you are anyway. You're all healers. You all understand that you're trying to make a difference in the world anyway. And that's the best part.
So our goal is to support that, step into it, give you more tools and bridge the communication to show how and why what you do is so important in this world, by showing you how to unlock those levels and make those connections in your own life to get rid of different blocks that are there. We will talk about some of those blocks of soft suppression and how to get rid of them in leadership and business in the module. And of course, we're putting together some stuff later this month for all the people, both in algorithm and theta healing, to be more aware of it in business, to help them know and make those connections, to know how to grow their business. Because there's a lot of people who over the last little while started out really strong and can't figure out why they don't have the same
business and why they don't have the same, they're not attracting the same things on the social medias that they were before, and why some of the things that they were doing before were working and they're just not working anymore.
We know the why. The why has to do with things shifting and changing and us staying the same. We have to be ready to stay in the shift and stay authentic and keep
adapt.
Ourselves growing. So, anything else you'd like to do?
No, that was perfect. I mean, we invite you to join us on the 19th and 20th. We're really excited about it. I think it would be an amazing class. Well, I know it will be, but we just always love and appreciate your support. And we love that we get a chance to see all of your faces, and we appreciate the interpreters as always. And do you, either of you have anything that you would like to say before we leave?
Just open up for wide questions.
No, I just asked the interpreters.
Oh, the interpreters. Oh, I was like, that was very kind of you.
Just stop the translation for a second. Thank you very much. I will let also my dear friend Lissandra to just quickly recap after this. We always do it like that with her. So, thank you very much. Çok teşekkürler açıkladıkları için. Thank you very much. It was such a wonderful explanation as always, but very useful for us and very valuable for your time. Çok teşekkürler. Çok yararlı, değerli bir açıklamaydı bizim için. 19-20 Nisan'da eğitmenlik modüllerimiz olacak. Uygulayıcılık artı eğitmenlik beraber ve ön koşul olan algoritmanı keşfette 19 Nisan'da benim tarafımdan veriliyor olacak. Detaylar için gayalkan.com'a ulaşabilirsiniz Türkçe katılım için. Okay, Lissandra, would you like to share the details for upcoming class for your people? Okay, go ahead.
Pessoal, então, só para vocês saberem, no final de semana que vem tem o Algorithm of You para business, né, para negócio.